2026 all-new Indian Chieftain Elite, the luxury bagger that changes everything. Stop scrolling, because if you thought American baggers couldn't get any more dramatic, the 2026 Indian Chieftain Elite may be about to change that perception completely. Indian Motorcycle has built the Chieftain name around bold styling, serious touring ability, and the unmistakable character of a large American 5-twin. But imagine taking that formula and pushing it even further with an elite model designed to look more exclusive, feel more premium, and turn every parking lot into a motorcycle show. The 2026 Chieftain Elite has all the ingredients to become one of the most eye-catching touring motorcycles on the road, and this isn't simply about adding a few luxury touches. We're talking about a machine that could combine muscular American design with sophisticated electronics, premium finishing, serious long-distance comfort, and the kind of road presence that makes people stop what they're doing just to take another look. In this video, we're breaking down why the 2026 Indian Chieftain Elite could be one of the most exciting luxury baggers to watch, what could make it different from the standard Chieftain, and why riders who love powerful touring motorcycles may have a very difficult decision to make. And trust me, there's one part of this motorcycle that could be even more impressive than its appearance. The first thing you notice is the design. Because the Chieftain has never been a motorcycle that tries to disappear into traffic, the fairing-mounted front end gives it an unmistakable silhouette, while the large fuel tank, stretched bodywork, low riding position, and integrated saddlebags create that classic American bagger profile. For 2026, an Elite version would be expected to take the visual drama to another level. Think premium paintwork, exclusive graphics, darkened components, polished details, and carefully finished surfaces that separate the Elite from ordinary touring motorcycles. The front fairing could remain the visual centerpiece, with a powerful LED lighting signature giving the motorcycle an even more modern appearance after sunset. From the side, the long and low proportions could make the bike appear almost like a custom motorcycle straight from a high-end workshop. And that is precisely what makes the Elite designation so interesting. Indian doesn't need to completely reinvent the Chieftain's shape because the basic design is already distinctive. Instead, the goal is to make every detail feel more intentional. The wheels, exhaust, engine covers, saddle, handlebars, badging, and paint could all work together to create something that looks less like mass-produced transportation and more like a rolling piece of American motorcycle art. Then comes the engine. And this is where the Chieftain Elite gets serious. A premium Indian bagger needs an engine that matches its appearance, and the Chieftain platform has traditionally relied on a large displacement Thunderstroke V-twin, delivering the kind of low-end torque that makes these motorcycles feel completely different from smaller machines. You don't ride a Chieftain because you're chasing the highest possible red line. You ride it because you want that deep, effortless surge when you roll on the throttle. Imagine pulling away from a stop, feeling the engine's torque build, hearing the exhaust note deepen, and watching the motorcycle gather speed without needing to work hard. That's the experience that makes large American touring motorcycles so addictive. For a 2026 Elite, refinement could be just as important as raw output. A premium calibration could provide smoother throttle response, stronger passing performance, and effortless highway cruising while maintaining the unmistakable V-twin character. The 6-speed transmission would ideally complement that engine with relaxed gearing for long-distance travel, while modern electronic engine management could make the power easier to control. The result wouldn't need to feel aggressive all the time. Instead, it could feel powerful almost effortlessly, which is exactly the personality you'd expect from a flagship American bagger. But power alone doesn't make an elite motorcycle. The real difference should be the technology surrounding the rider. The 2026 Chieftain Elite could feature an advanced infotainment system centered around a large touchscreen display, giving the rider access to navigation, music, phone connectivity, vehicle information, and other touring functions. This is where modern American baggers have become dramatically more sophisticated. The dashboard is no longer simply a collection of analog gauges. It has become the command center for the motorcycle. Riders can potentially manage navigation routes, entertainment, communications, and vehicle settings without constantly reaching for their phone. Advanced rider assistance systems could also contribute to the experience, with features such as selectable riding modes, traction management, cruise control, and sophisticated ABS helping the motorcycle remain composed in changing conditions. The important thing, however, is integration. On a luxury touring motorcycle, technology should feel natural rather than distracting. You should be able to glance at the display, understand what's happening, and return your attention to the road. If Indian gets that balance right, the Chieftain Elite could feel less like a traditional motorcycle with a screen and more like a modern grand touring machine. Now let's talk about comfort, because this is where a Chieftain has to justify its size. The whole point of a large bagger is to make long-distance riding feel effortless. A premium seat, carefully designed riding position, substantial wind protection, and excellent passenger accommodation can transform a long highway journey from an endurance test into something you actually look forward to. The Chieftain's fairing-mounted design provides a strong foundation for this, helping shield the rider from wind while maintaining that distinctive silhouette. For an elite model, Indian could further emphasize comfort with premium seat materials, improved padding, upgraded passenger accommodations, and touring-focused accessories. The handlebars and foot controls would also be crucial, because small ergonomic differences become very noticeable after several hours in the saddle. Add cruise control and a powerful engine that can maintain highway speeds with ease, and the Chieftain Elite begins to make sense as a true cross-country machine. This isn't the kind of motorcycle you buy because you want to ride for 30 minutes around town. You buy it because you want to look at a map, find a destination several hundred miles away, and know that the motorcycle is ready to take you there. And then there is storage. This may sound less exciting than horsepower or styling, but ask any serious touring rider, and they'll tell you that luggage capacity matters. Integrated saddlebags allow the Chieftain to maintain its sleek bagger appearance while providing space for clothing, riding gear, electronics, and everything else needed for a multi-day trip. A premium elite version could make those storage areas even more useful through improved organization, easier access, and compatibility with additional touring equipment. That's one of the reasons baggers remain so popular. They combine the attitude of a custom motorcycle with the practicality of a touring machine. You don't have to strap giant cases onto the back, or transform the motorcycle into a fully loaded expedition bike. The luggage is part of the design. Even when empty, the motorcycle looks complete. When loaded, it becomes a genuine road trip machine. And that combination of style and functionality is exactly where the Chieftain Elite can separate itself from motorcycles that are designed primarily around utility. Of course, riding a motorcycle this large raises another question. Does it actually feel manageable? That's where chassis tuning, suspension, brakes, and electronic assistance become extremely important. A premium Chieftain needs to feel stable at highway speeds, but predictable at low speeds. The suspension must absorb rough pavement without making the motorcycle float, while the braking system needs enough authority to confidently control a machine carrying a large engine, rider, passenger, and luggage. Modern ABS and electronic rider aids can add another layer of confidence, especially when weather conditions suddenly change. But the real goal should be balance. The best large touring motorcycles don't feel like you're wrestling with a giant machine every time you enter a parking lot. Once moving, the weight can become surprisingly manageable, especially when the chassis is well designed and the center of gravity is kept low. That's where the Chieftain's long, low profile can become an advantage. It gives the motorcycle an unmistakable visual identity while potentially helping it feel planted and composed on the road. For experienced riders, that combination could make the Elite feel remarkably natural despite its substantial size. What makes the 2026 Chieftain Elite particularly fascinating is the audience it targets. This isn't necessarily a motorcycle for someone who wants the lightest possible machine or the most aggressive cornering performance. It is aimed at riders who want presence, comfort, technology, and performance wrapped into one premium package. It's for the person who wants to cross states or countries without giving up style. It's for the rider who enjoys arriving at a destination just as much as the journey itself. And it's for someone who sees a motorcycle as more than transportation. The Elite name suggests exclusivity, and that means the ownership experience matters just as much as the specification sheet. Premium finishes, distinctive paint, special badging, upgraded equipment, and carefully selected components can make the motorcycle feel genuinely special every time you walk into the garage. That emotional connection is difficult to measure, but it's a huge part of why riders spend more for flagship motorcycles. They aren't simply buying an engine and two wheels. They're buying an experience. Of course, here's where we need to separate excitement from confirmed information. Any discussion of an all-new 2026 Chieftain Elite should be treated carefully unless specific equipment, specifications, pricing, and market availability have been officially announced by Indian Motorcycle. Features can differ by market, and early reports, renders, rumors, or speculative descriptions shouldn't automatically be considered final production specifications. But even with that caveat, the concept is incredibly compelling. The luxury bagger segment is becoming more competitive, and riders now expect much more than a big engine and beautiful paint. They want advanced electronics, excellent brakes, premium suspension, smartphone integration, sophisticated infotainment, strong luggage capacity, and comfort that can handle serious mileage. If Indian manages to combine all of those elements while preserving the raw character that made the Chieftain famous, the Elite could become one of the most desirable American touring motorcycles of its generation. And that's the part that should have competitors paying attention. So, is the 2026 Indian Chieftain Elite the ultimate American luxury bagger? If Indian delivers the right combination of power, premium design, advanced technology, comfort, and long-distance capability, it could certainly make a very strong argument. Imagine standing next to this massive machine at sunrise, the paint catching the first light, the V-twin coming to life, the saddlebags loaded for a weekend escape, and hundreds of miles of open road waiting ahead. That's what the Chieftain formula is really about. It's not simply speed, it's not simply luxury. It's the feeling that the road ahead is yours to explore. The Elite version could take that feeling and turn the volume all the way up. But now I want to hear from you. Would you choose the Chieftain Elite over a Harley-Davidson touring motorcycle, or would you take a completely different route? Drop your choice in the comments. And if this motorcycle has your attention, make sure you subscribe, because the next American heavyweight could be even more outrageous.